2025, our second year of the Girls State Wrestling Tournament. And wouldn't you know, somebody that went to school about 11 miles away at Scott County High School was able to win a state championship. I'm going to ask her later on if she walked from the arena to the school for like a big parade. So, ma'am, if you would, tell us who you are.
I'm Ava Castleman.
And come on, tell us about your win, what year, what weight, all that kind of stuff.
I'm a freshman. I won the 107 weight class. This is my first year wrestling. So.
And you are a Scott County Cardinal, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's what I thought. And like I said earlier, for those of you that know where the horse park is, it is, or even if you don't know, it is literally right there on the Fayette-Scott County line. I don't think it could be any closer on the line. And I know that some basketball teams that have won the state championship, boys and girls, when it was in Lexington or Memorial, they've like walked the trophy from Rupp Arena, Memorial, wherever, back to their school. Did you, like, when you won it that Thursday night, was there any thought of like, you know, let's stop somewhere and like let me walk back into town or anything like that? Because that would have been so cool, you know, to get like a big police escort and all that back through town.
Yeah, we didn't really do anything. I kind of went home. I was tired, so like.
I can understand. It's a long day, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, so you're a freshman, and you said this is your first year wrestling, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I have to ask, what was the spark? What was the like interest? Like, I got to do this. What was that?
So I've done jiu-jitsu for like 4.5 years with Adam Gomez at Georgetown Mixed Martial Arts. And I was kind of comfortable with like just the contact and a similar sport kind of. And I play soccer, so I wanted something to do this winter to stay in shape, and I knew wrestling would help with that. So that's kind of what got me into it. So.
Now, that's I believe, the American Killer Bees, right?
Yes, sir.
That's what I've had a couple seminars with Adam. I think he actually gave me one of my stripes on my white belt many, many years ago at a seminar. So, man, you got a great jiu-jitsu teacher, great program there with that academy there in Georgetown. So you kind of lucked into it with this being our second year, getting to come out and go straight into being KHSAA sanctioned. Did you see any of our videos before this of any of the girls that won state last year?
No.
Okay, well, you need to go back and watch, because last year we had 13 weight classes. This year, of course, we had 12. And I have all but 3 of the girls from last year that won. A couple of them have said they're not interested, and I respect that. The other one, we're still trying to get her lined up. Like I said, you come in at a great time. The second year, I've got to officiate. We just finished. This is March 24, 2025. I just finished my 19th year of officiating, and when I I hate to sound like an old man here, going to hand you a Werther's original and tell you about the good old days, but our first year of wrestling was 1964. That was the first sanctioned KHSAA state tournament. We went all the way to 2006 before the first girl even qualified, and that was Priscilla Brownfield from Campbell County at 103, and her video, Priscilla didn't place, but she did win 2 matches at the state tournament. And her review videos on the channel. Priscilla was honored at the first Coaches Association Girls State Tournament with a plaque, and all the girls that were there signed, you know, their name on like a canvas. A really nice gesture. Priscilla, a great ambassador for women's wrestling. And now 12 weight classes, 16 young ladies get to make it each year, 192 wrestlers. I mean, that's great to see. Did you kind of realize how big it was when you come into it, or was it just something that you was like, I see a team, I want to do this?
It was more just like, I want to try it, see what happens. I didn't really expect to do that well. I was mainly doing it to stay in shape for soccer and to give me something to do over the winter. So it was, I realized like how much I really enjoyed it. So like I really started pushing myself at practice and started setting higher goals. And
I get it. Now, you said you play soccer. Surely nobody in your family knows anything about soccer, right?
My mom's a college soccer coach. So.
Yeah, that was meant to be a little sarcastic. You know what I mean? Just a smidge. Your mom is the head women's soccer coach there at Georgetown, and it was announced just the other day, as of this filming, that Angela Vidaretti is going to be the first women's head coach for women's wrestling there at Georgetown. And that, she whipped Taylor County into being the team state champions last year. Great program. I can only see Angela doing great things there with the Georgetown program. So let's talk though about your state tournament bracket. You're coming in to the state tournament with a record of 30-4. You start off the state tournament with a 1 minute 48-second fall. I love this last name, over Lexi Proudfoot of South Oldham. What a great name. You know what I mean? That just, I don't know Lexi or her family, but I saw that. I was like, that, come on. That's a great name. You win a 17-0 tech fall over Belle Hatfield from Ohio County. You get to the semis. You're wrestling Anna. And I'm not trying to mispronounce your name, Anna. I don't exactly know how it's pronounced, but I believe it's Tyranny from Woodford County. And it says that you win that at 6 minutes, in which that would be at the last second of the third period. Do you remember much about that match?
Nope, not really.
Okay. Well, like I said, it's got 6 minutes, and I'm like, no, I know how long a match is supposed to be. Maybe she pinned it right as the horn blew.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, that's fine. Now you get to the finals, and you're wrestling Janetta Asakalulu from Lafayette. And we're not going to say the score. We have the match video. And Janetta, I don't mean to mispronounce your name. I think I said that somewhat, at least respectfully close. But you wrestled her in the 2 weeks prior at the regional tournament in the semifinals. Yeah. And that score was, you won by a score of 12-11. Yeah. So when you see who you're wrestling there at the state tournament, did you kind of look over and be like, oh, gosh, this was I know how close it was last time? Or what was your thought process going in, knowing that you are wrestling somebody you wrestled in the regional tournament?
I mean, I was nervous, but I was mainly excited because I had done better than I had really expected to. So I knew whatever ended up happening, that obviously it happened for a reason, but like I knew that I had done everything I could to get to that point this season. Mm-hmm. But I knew I did have a chance to win, but I knew it would be hard.
No, I get it. I completely understand. The video here that we have, it has the Parade of Champions, the face-off, the match, and the medal ceremony. And before we watch it, had you seen like a state tournament wrestling before, or had any idea of what to expect? Did anybody kind of clue you in what was going on or anything like that?
No, it was all new to me.
So. I got you. Everybody, I think that's kind of become a rite of passage, is getting all the dirt from the horse park on you. You know what I mean? My shoes, I've washed them twice, and they've still got dirt on them from doing the boys state tournament there. It's part of it. The outside of the dirt floor, the horse park is a great setup. It'd be nice to have some more locker rooms down on the air, down on the practice mat side and all that kind of stuff. But the way that the fans can be all the way around the whole arena, we can set up 8 mats for the boys, plenty of room in between the practice mat area in the back. It's really a great setup. So when you walk out the Parade of Champions, are you kind of like, whoa, what's going on here? Or
Yeah, a little bit.
I got you. So we're going to pull up the video here. We've got it queued up to the 107-pound wrestlers. The crowd this year for the girls was a whole lot bigger and a whole lot louder than the boys. And I think the KHSAA done a really good. They took a lot of input of last year. The girls' state tournament was after the boys. This year, of course, it was before on that Thursday. So you had all the boys' teams there, kind of get out of school, want to come watch. Come on, what are we doing? Who doesn't want to get out of school for a day? You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think it really paid off. I think the girls this year, you all got a really, really good environment, about as best as we could ask for. So we've talked enough about it. Let's go watch it.
Just keep following them.
And there you come, I believe. I believe your opponent is the last one out. Yep. That's your opponent?
Yep.
Were the nerves kind of hitting you right here when you get ready to run out?
Yeah.
I believe it. Thinking, don't trip, right?
Yeah.
Of course, you get to run out second here. There you come running out. Feel like you got a pretty good cheering section. The most polite handshake I believe I've ever seen at a wrestling meet. Here we go. Okay, so with having a jiu-jitsu background, what are we looking to do here from our feet? What was your go-to takedowns?
So really, I had never done a takedown or anything. With jiu-jitsu, I would always pull guard. So I knew how to do takedowns going into wrestling, but I didn't start doing them in matches until about halfway through the season. I had never taken a shot in a match, ever. So I mean, I always played kind of defense and waited for them to shoot because I really liked the barbed wire. So they would shoot and I would do the crossface, the barbed wire. But I really started trying to keep that and work on that myself. But I like the double leg.
Now, she gets a takedown first and then kind of just lets you go. I'm like, whoa. I'm filming this. I'm on the head score table. Got to work the tables for the girls this year. And I was like, man, I got the best seat in the house. I gotta pull my phone out and film it because the track wrestling feeds are just not as good as 4K phone. All right, so you're doing a really good job stuffing that takedown. Doing a good job of creating motion.
6 seconds, Jason.
That was me yelling out the time. You got Kenny Stone as your official. Sheet of furs. And you're going to look over at your coach. Now, you were only on the bottom for a couple seconds. This is not it's called turtle, but in wrestling we call it the referee position. This is not a good place to be if you're a jiu-jitsu practitioner. It's called having your back. So are you in panic mode here? Like I'm not used to somebody being on my back?
Yeah.
I get it. You get your escape. So now it's 3-2. Sounds like you got a pretty good cheering section.
Yeah.
Which you should, as close as what your school is. Do you remember hearing anybody in the crowd, or were you just so zoned in you didn't remember anything? Or
Yeah, I don't remember anything.
I completely understand, believe me. Now, who's your coaches there in the corner?
Truman, Galusha, and Nick Spearwalt.
Okay. Now she shoots in kind of like a fireman or a dump or something. You do a really good job of defending it. Not giving anything up. Nothing yet. Now it's her choice. She's going to take down the on top here. Little bit different. We can't throw arm bars. We can't, hit anything like that. What are we looking to do on top?
Cross space, barbed wire.
You kind of get out in front of her there. I can see what you're trying to pull that across.
Yeah.
And I guess it looks like that she's worked on defense of that, because I would have to imagine you wrestled her more than just the time at Regions this year.
That was actually my first time.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was the only move I hit all year.
And so now it's 4-2. She's up on you. Third period. Now you get a takedown right there. 5-4. That's the thing about a girls' wrestling tournament. There's a lot of screaming, fans, if you've never been. You got some near fall right there. There's the fan section. Now, when she gets that reversal right there, are you in like panic mode? Do you realize the score, how much time is left?
Yeah.
And Lafayette's coach, he comes to the table. He wants to get an explanation from the official what the call was there. When you're in this position, you're kind of a little bit of a lull. Are you still fighting the nerves, or is it, I've got to get this done? Or
I mean, it was, at that point I wasn't nervous anymore. I was just like, I have to just keep going. I can't give up now.
Now, I will say, I kind of get caught up in the action, and I don't move my phone. Right there, you get your escape. So, my apologies for being lost in the action.
It's just a stall warning.
Yep, I'm going to say that was your first stall of the match.
That's a foot.
And that's how the match ends. You win by a final score of 8-6. And I love this part right here. The steam shoots up. What a visual. Here's the medal ceremony. So, if you've never got to go to a state wrestling tournament, fans, we award medals like the 107s wrestle. Then we'll have the 114 weight class will wrestle. After the 114s finish, we'll award the 107s medal. So, in between that time of wrestling and getting your medal, are you like, what are we jumping up and down? Are we having an emotional breakdown? What are we doing?
I was really shocked. I didn't really know what happened. Like my coach threw me over the wall into my teammates, and like everyone was hugging me and I was crying and everyone else was crying. So it was all just, there were a lot of emotions. But it was mostly shock.
I can understand. And you beat, of course, she come in third. Anna come in third right there. And there you are on top of the podium.
Ladies and gentlemen, 107 pounds, state champion from Scott County, Ava Castleman.
I'm sure you probably got to watch it back a few thousand times between now and then. I'm sure everybody in your family and school and stuff have watched it. But when you see it a couple weeks after the fact, does it play out the way mentally that you have it as it actually is on video? Or is there anything that you're like, I don't remember it being that way or anything like that?
I don't know. I mean, like, I guess my reaction in the video was a lot calmer than I felt like it was. I don't know. Like, there were parts that I remember, and other parts I was like, I have no clue that happened.
I can completely understand. Now, a little bit, something about the series that I love doing is giving the history of the wrestling teams, whether it's individual, team state champions, most outstanding, whatever. But now, I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty confident in at least this updated. There might have been a Scott County team in the 70s or 80s. If they didn't have any state champions. The first Scott County team that I can find with the wrestler that made it to the state tournament was 2011. Okay? Mm-hmm. You were the first state wrestling champion for Scott County High School. And the athletic teams, the individuals that's come out of that school, I don't know how many boys basketball state champions, girls basketball, football, track and field. Just about every time the KHSAA has a sport, Scott County's always winning something. Always. Doesn't matter what it is. But you can always say forever that as a freshman, at the mighty weight of 107 pounds, you were the first state wrestling champion. That's got to be pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Did it sink in that you were the first when you done it, or has it kind of sink in after the fact?
It was more after the fact. I hadn't really thought about it.
Mhm.
Like, people had told me, like, if you win, this would be the case. But I was like, I'm not worried about that. Like, I have to win first.
I got
So
it. And
after the fact.
you said you play soccer for Scott County, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you got a chance to talk to this young lady or seen her at meets earlier in the year or whatever. Tatum Millett from Oldham County. Do you know Tatum?
I don't think so.
She won last year. She was a state champion, and then this year she was a 120 state champion. And she plays, I believe it's lacrosse. Is that correct? Does that sound?
I'm not sure.
Field hockey or lacrosse, one or the other. It's a spring sport, and we done her review video, and she was saying that like when they would go to a school or play or whatever, and there would be some unnecessary roughness calls or whatever, is her teammates would go to the other team and be like, "You see her? She's our bodyguard. She's a state wrestling champion." And that just stuck with me, how that when your teammates for other sports know, hey, we got a state wrestling champion, or we got, he plays third, she plays third, he's state whatever, how they kind of see you as a different level of bodyguard or enforcer or whatever, no matter what your weight class is or how long ago it was, maybe you didn't win year before, they still see you as, hey, we got our bodyguard. She's a state, don't mess with us. 107 pounds will absolutely take you down, make you wish you'd have never put on a jersey, right?
Yeah.
Well, I have to ask, coming in, are you looking at wrestling next year, or was this just a one-shot deal, or?
Originally, it was kind of a one-time thing, just to kind of see how it went. I'm definitely wrestling again next year.
I was going to say, if you don't, I was going to be very disappointed. Like, you can't not come back and defend your crown. You got to, what's the old saying? You're not the champ till you defend it. And I was wish you well. I'm sure we'll probably see you again along the wrestling journey, and I'll probably see you again next year at the state tournament. So I always leave the door open. If you win state championship next year, we'd love to have you and get your story about where your wrestling journey's taking you, your soccer journey, whatever else you'd like to share here on the channel. But I love being able to do this because for so long, the sport of wrestling has just been ignored for so long. When I wrestled, I mean, we were lucky to get the gym for a weekend, let alone we had to practice on the landing. Basketball team, and nothing against basketball. I love basketball. I'm not saying anything about that, but we practiced on the landing there in our gym. Basketball game would happen. We had to roll our mats up, pull the bleachers out. Next day at practice, push the bleachers back in, roll them out. Now teams have mat rooms, dedicated areas, and the basketball team and the wrestling team for a lot of schools now, because the girls and boys wrestling, they have to share the gym, and I think that's a great thing. Like I said, nothing against basketball. I love basketball. Whatever sport keeps people engaged and doing extracurriculars and keeps them out of doing stuff they shouldn't be doing, I'm 100% for. Not everybody's going to be a wrestler. Not everybody's going to be a soccer player. Not everybody's going to be somebody in the drama team or the speech team. That's the way it goes. We all have to find our own niche in life. But I'm glad that the girls have their opportunity to compete at their own against each other. I think that's one of the best things the KHSAA ever done, because it was long overdue. A lot of states have it now. And I'm glad that we have a success story with people like yourself. First year doing it, state champion. Come on, I thought this was supposed to be hard. You know what I mean? I thought this was supposed to be hard. So before we go, do you have anything you'd like to say, add, take away, anything like that?
I don't know. I mean, I definitely think, like, I couldn't have done this without my training partner, Sam Oliver. I think she placed 6th in the 114 weight class. She was my partner all season, and her and my coaches are the reason I won. Like, I couldn't thank them anymore. So
I completely understand. And before we go, I want to say thank you to Brian Banner with Scott County Wrestling and Jack Connor. They got me hooked up with your mother. and we were able to get this lined up. And we were trying to get lined up. I sent your mom, like, how about this time at this date? Nope, she's got soccer this. And what about this? Nope, she's got something else. And I'm like, you just tell me when. I'll make myself available. Like, sorry, she's a busy girl. I was like, hey, I get it. So, again, thank you for taking the time this evening and doing it. It was a really great video. Really appreciate it. So, I believe that's all we got. Thank you all for watching. We will see you guys and girls on the mats.